And now, introducing Casey Carter.
It is Wednesday, and it is time for Casey at Night. Hey, how you doing? I am your hostess, your goddess, your everything, Casey Carter. So, did you miss me? I didn't show up last week. You know why? I was tired. A girl was tired. So I needed a minute to just needed a minute. Hell, I just needed a minute. Anyway, I'm back. Hey, Jason. I am back. And I came with a friend. So tonight, because I'm so tired, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm tired. So tonight I thought I would do something totally different, and I would basically open the floor to questions and also answer questions. And I have a special co host. So tonight's show is Q&A with Casey and Lorenzo, or Lorenzo and Casey. So, Mike, wait, that's my, okay, wait, right here, over here, that's Lorenzo. Clearly, you can see Lorenzo is here. And Lorenzo is going to help me answer questions. See, you did better than I did. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lorenzo's going to help me answer questions because honestly, I said I get, but like we get questions. We get questions when we're out at conventions. Hell, we get questions just out at restaurants. So, tonight is
Very true.
Q&A with Casey and Lorenzo and my special guest, Lorenzo. Say hey to the
All
people.
right. Hello, people. Let's do this thing here, Casey. Let them know what we get questioned about all the time here.
All
Give them
right.
some good answers.
First of all, see how bossy dude is, right? Yeah. Can you imagine two dominant people? How do you let's do that question. That's not even on my list.
That's not on the list. Huh?
That's not even on the list, but let's talk about that. How do two dominants coexist in a relationship? How do two dominants
Carefully.
coexist in a relationship? You got a thought on that, Lorenzo?
Yeah, very carefully. That's how they coexist.
Okay, yeah, I'm a cosign. I'm a cosign on that because this is where I think you learn about respect, right? Because I respect the space you hold in dominance, and you respect the space that I hold in dominance. And I don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like we ever fight over that space. I think we flow in and out of it together.
Yeah, very true. And it takes two unique people to handle that situation. It could be a conflict, for some, but with the two unique personalities, we're able to pull that off.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna ask you, sir, if you wouldn't mind, if you could drop out for 1 second and come back in, so maybe we can clear up the lag on your end. So, again, Lorenzo talked about, being unique people and respect space, and that truly being able to respect your partner, I think, is how dominance coexists. Because the truth be told, even when you have a submissive, you have to be able to respect your submissive. Your submissive has boundaries and limits and things, and so it's always a matter of respect.
Yeah, very true. Always, no matter what the situation may be.
Yeah. So that was question number one. How do two
All
dominants
right.
coexist? All right. So moving on to number two. And I've got like this list of questions like that I printed, right? And so next on my list is why do some guys come quick? Like three strokes. How do you explain that, Lorenzo?
Let's see. Some things are medical situations, and some is just mental situations. And some of the guys can work on it mentally, but it takes a lot of work, and it takes a special partner too, because a lot of times they're made to feel bad in certain ways, and depending on how their partner handles things with them, some of that could be worked out, um, you know, with the help of the partner. And these days they have so much stuff that you can take to help you out also. So you have to do a lot of research.
Ah, hold on. You're gonna have to bump Lorenzo out for a second, bring him back. So what I like about what he said was is it's a two people effort, right? It's not just that guy's problem. It's not a solo, it's not a you need to fix your broken dick all by yourself situation. It is definitely a partnered resolution. And I say that because even though it's up to, even though the guy is working through whatever is the mental and or the physical challenge, you still need your partner to be supportive of whatever it is that's the issue. When I was young, a 3 minute man, 2 minute man, 1 minute man, whatever. We in your teens and your 20s, that was all about inexperience and an inability to manage um, the experience, right? So when you start getting later into your 20s and your 30s, now women are going to look at you like, or your partner's going to look at you like, all right, you ain't got control over your dick yet. I mean, so yeah,
Yeah, that's what I say. It's a lot on the partner. That
yeah,
makes a big difference. So
yeah. I agree. I agree. It's definitely an issue of patience. Now, having said that, one of my trips through the airport, I don't know if I was in the Atlanta airport, if I was in BWI, I don't know, one of these airports, Time magazine was on the rack, and it caught my attention because on the cover they were talking about erectile dysfunction in 20 something year old men. And it blew my mind because I'm like, how is a 20 something got erectile dysfunction? Well, the article goes on to talk about the fact that porn has affected some guys' ability to either get erect, stay erect, or hold. Well, stay erect is the same as hold that erection for some length of time. So,
mhm.
going back to what Lorenzo said about mental, somehow I don't know how, but even I guess, and I don't want to say excessive because what's excessive to me may not be excessive for somebody else. But apparently, the watching or the constant watching of porn is being blamed for erectile dysfunction. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, like you say, not excessive to one is to another, but we can say with these days, and especially social media and the way it is, um, a lot of people, that's all they do, stay online on the internet and stuff like that. That is it. They have no contact with people that much at all. So yeah, it probably is, an excessive thing. In the book of John that you have as one of your books, there's a little kind of way, a technique that John uses in the book that might be useful in this situation also. There
Anyway,
you go, John. Hmm.
anyway, so
So
yeah, and so what Lorenzo did right there is he dropped some bait, and you're gonna have to go fishing to catch what he was,
that's right. Yeah, get the book, and there's a little training course there for that situation.
Okay, all right. So, as you can see, I came out with a heavy hitter right out the gate.
I see.
Yeah. So here's one that I'm not gonna say I get it a lot, but I have gotten it, and it is it safe to have sex during pregnancy? Uh, yeah. It is
Mm.
definitely safe to have sex during a pregnancy. Um, Now, of course, I don't recommend any aggressive BDSM type scenes, but yeah, I mean, and you can quite frankly have sex right up on through the third trimester. As a matter of fact, having had two kids of my own, you can have sex to induce labor. Like an orgasm can most certainly get a labor situation going. So, yeah, the baby can't see the penis. Okay, let me just say that. Can't see the penis.
Mm.
And you will, some women, I can't speak for all pregnant women, but I have heard a lot of pregnant women talk about how more sexually aroused they are during pregnancy, how, there's maybe more nipple sensitivity, and how, I read that you can have like weird sexual dreams. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So yes, highly encourage. And if if you as the pregnant person or your partner as the not pregnant person is worried or concerned about inserting things or getting you too excited or whatever, then just take your time. Do little things. I mean, you don't have to. If you're worried, you don't have to go all out the gate. Just take your time and see how it actually flows. Naturally. You got any thoughts on that, Lorraine?
Yeah. As a female, I mean, the male's just going to be very worried and concerned. At that point, we don't know what we're doing at that point. So take the lead, kind of bring them along a little bit like that, because it's just a inner fear that the male may have, and with the women, just take over at that point. It's just like when you're having the child, the guy doesn't know what he's doing, so just take over, and just run that show, and together, things will work out.
Yeah. See, exactly. I mean, and that's why I say, the pregnant person may be uncomfortable. The partner may be uncomfortable, but whoever is not uncomfortable, do what you can to make the other person uncomfortable. And if that means, if you want penetration and they're afraid of penetration, then back up and just,
Hmm.
do some sensory play and let them see that they can't hurt you, they can't hurt the baby, they won't induce labor. Unless, of course, you're in the third trimester, you're 40 weeks in, and it's time for that puppy to come out. You might want to try doing that. But nonetheless, you can go through an entire 40-week pregnancy and have sex. Now, I will say this as a person who had morning sickness, although in the afternoon, during my first trimester, definitely be respectful of any physical issues that the pregnant person is having. But if they're not, and they're all in for the nookie, you better get that shit up. So
Yeah, do it.
all I'm saying. All right, we're gonna take a little commercial break right here. We're gonna be right back with some more questions. Nominated Best Lifestyle in Adult Industry Erotic Writer and Best Lifestyle Adult Educator, Casey Carter. Winners will be announced September 18, 2021. So, if you are just joining the show, I am your host, Casey Carter, and tonight we are having a Q&A session. Q&A with Casey and Lorenzo. Here is my guest, Lorenzo. And so
Mhm.
we're back. Again, I have this list of questions. Is there any question that you get, Lorenzo, that you want to talk about?
Other people want to know how it is being with Casey Carter. I mean, I get that all the time, of course. So that one I'll kind of keep to myself there.
All right, all right. Since you go there and do that, one of the questions that comes up, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this comes up when I'm out and about at conventions. It comes up when I'm in the grocery store, the Walmart, the Target, or whatever. And the question is, how old are you, Casey?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what, June 16th, that's this month, next Wednesday, June 16th, I will be 52. Okay, wait. 52. That
Hmm.
I will be 52 years old on my birthday. Let me say it again. June
They
16th.
don't believe that.
I will be 52. Oh my God, Casey, you look like you're 35. I know. They say black don't crack. Baby, that's a show enough truth right there. But
Yeah.
But Lorenzo will also throw into the black don't crack is exercise, a healthy lifestyle, yada yada
Right.
yada.
Drink your water.
Yeah,
All of
I'm good
that.
at that one, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not good at the drink your water. I am working on it because now that I'm 52, I want to preserve this look.
Yeah,
So I'm
you wanted the gifted, you wanted the fortunate. So don't make people feel bad.
whatever, man, whatever.
But
Um,
it takes work also.
yeah, no, and so like in all seriousness, yes, I am ever so grateful because I didn't start feeling my age until I got to 50. Not even 50, but 51. 51. Yo, COVID kicked my ass. And only in the sense that I stayed in my space and I wasn't active because A, you can't go nowhere. B, I just chose not to walk or exercise as much as I should have. I got out periodically and walked and stuff like that, but let me tell you, that Atlanta airport, oof, that was a part of my exercise routine because when I'm on Southwest, half the time when I fly into BWI, I'm at the end of the concourse. So I gotta like high step it from gate
Yeah.
1 through 5 or whatever to the center.
Terminal C and all that.
Yes, Terminal C.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And one of my favorite spots is the Longhorns in there. And that's like around gate 16. So when you down anywhere by 5, you
Yeah.
down, as I like to say, I call that end of the terminal the hood. That's the hood.
Right.
Because by the
And
time,
they don't even have a bathroom down there.
thank you,
That's
just
right.
any neighborhood where you live in the hood, you ain't got nothing. You got nothing. Like, so once you get down to 5, there's no bathroom, there's no concessions. I think there's a machine. There might not even be a machine for sodas. Ooh, baby, let me tell you. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, we got Exoticas coming up, so you're gonna get a lot of exercise back in.
Speaking of Exotica, so one of the questions is there nudity at Exotica? Not on the
No.
floor, not on the convention floor. And I'm gonna wrap in another one about can you have sex at Exotica? Not on the convention floor. That's how I'm gonna answer that
No.
question.
No nudity
On the convention floor.
everywhere but inside the convention floor. No sex
No nudity on the
that
convention.
we can say.
Right, right. No nudity on the convention floor. No sex on the convention floor. And so you're thinking, well, what kind of fun is that? I said the convention floor.
That's right.
That's what I said. Convention floor. I'm gonna let you marry.
Yeah, after a year of no Exotica,
Listen.
you're gonna be off the hook.
I'm so tickled about Exotica being back, especially because this year I will be at basically my own booth. Me and my boob tube co-hosts are gonna have our own booth at Exotica. Holler! Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, they got to come check you out this year. This year will be different than ever before. See Casey at your best.
Yes, oh yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
let me focus. Woo. Okay, so crossing things off my list as we go here. All right. So I don't know if you all know, but Lorenzo has 35 years of law enforcement experience. And he and I do something called
Welcome to Casey's Safety Tips, featuring me, Lorenzo.
you gotta love that. So anyway, Lorenzo and I
Yeah.
started doing something called Casey Safety Tips featuring Lorenzo. And we like to say we're keeping you safe on and off the internet. Um, So that being said, my next questions are going to be very specific to security. And the first one is, what type of personal protection weapons can I carry without a license?
Ooh, this one can change from state to state. So you want to Google the information about your state exactly on what can be carried. As a general rule, uh, some pepper sprays are are legal in several states. Some states are letting you carry knives that are under so many inches on the blade. So you have to check your states out like that. Also, there's a scenario involved here. If you say that you're carrying a weapon for your personal protection, that could be a different charge than if, say, you're a cook and you're caught with a certain type of knife because it's a tool of the trade. So you need to learn the laws in your region if you can carry something for personal protection or not. Especially with federal ground, it's different than state ground. Places like airports are different, hospitals are different, and things like that. But you need to do your research before you can do that. But for the most part, things like pepper spray are legal. Some places allow stun guns, a lot of places don't. But you really have to do your research.
Okay, and so what we're talking about is, what can I carry without a license? Because I want to make that distinction, because my next question is, what type of gun is better for home protection? A revolver or an automatic? Now, Lorenzo, before you answer that question, I just want to say Lorenzo taught me how to shoot. I will let him tell you how fucking fantastic I am at shooting. But I think when you talk about, the revolver versus automatic, if you could talk about, um, I don't want to say the ease of, but how this gun works versus this gun.
Well, first of all, Casey did an outstanding job on her shooting technique. I think it's because of the instructor,
Yes, it
and
is.
the way that he instructed her. But she's a great pupil, and she can shoot. So be very aware of that.
Aim at, baby. I hits what I aim at.
Yeah. So now with home protection, for some, it's a preference. I have both, and they both shoot a little bit differently. A revolver has less chance of messing up or jamming on you. Automatic also always has that risk, especially in a stressful situation. If your arm isn't locked a certain way with your wrist, it has a chance of jamming like that. So that's something to think about. Um, with a revolver, you may have only up to 6 shots. Automatic, you could have 17, 18 shots. So that's something to think about. You can get more shots, but with a revolver, you have a sure 6 shots. So you have to think either way on that. Also, in home protection, you may not want that big of a gun. You're going to get a close shot. It's going to be like long range shooting. It's going to be something very close, something very quick. So I would suggest that at least go to the range, learn, and practice with both weapons and see what you're more comfortable with, and just make that decision from that point.
Okay, I like that. And we got a question from Axel Foley, aka Black Lance. I'm assuming this is a question because it says, weapon that can be carried in the car for protection without being charged. And I don't know if this is a matter of, we're talking the the mace and the stun gun versus an actual gun with bullets, or if if the thought is a different type of gun that won't be an issue, because I'm not sure about the being charged part. But what
Yeah,
if
mostly with
what you
mhm.
carry in the car?
Yeah, mostly with pepper spray. If you can carry it on your body, you're usually able to carry it within the car. Now, if you're talking about a gun,
Gun.
you have to check with your local rules and regulations. Some states have open permits where they have to be displayed. Some you have to have them contained in a certain way, like magazine out, disassembled in your vehicle. That might just be on your way to the range or something like that. Some places are requiring a permit that you have to carry a weapon outside of a home. I think there's a state, I don't know if Texas is now saying you can carry a gun anywhere. They're doing something in Texas. But you have to check your local laws for where you live at specifically. And they will be specific, on whether you can carry it on your persons, if it has to be open, if you can carry it in your car, and when you can carry it and how. You have to follow those instructions to the letter.
Right. So, because I know we've talked about Georgia, because I'm in Georgia. And I know I can have a gun without a license, and I can travel with it, say, to the range. But if I'm just going to ride around town with a gun, I got to have the license, And if I remember correctly, because we've talked about this a couple of times, Lorenzo, I even have to have it in a specific location in my vehicle between my house and the range.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
You have to do your research, because that's going to keep you out of jail.
Right.
You have to know.
Okay. Awesome. So, all right. One more before we go to, and hold on, we got a comment here. And it says, I know a friend said they would keep a buck knife for safety, but me being black, that is not an option. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about that for a second, Lorenzo, because you and I have had several conversations about what it's like for you as a black man, even though you were in law enforcement, even though you have a permit to carry, you still have to be careful as a black man with a weapon. Can we talk about that for black men here?
Oh, it was worse for me because I was always armed. To this day, I'm always armed, and I was still a black male. So that buck knife thing, look at your local laws, because a lot of people had it on their belts, but they did not say this was for my protection. This was for cutting paper. This was for cutting a seat belt if I'm trapped in it and the car goes in the water. It's what your intention is, because that's going to be one of the elements if they're trying to charge you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of states now, you can carry a buck knife under, like, I think 3.5-inch blade, and a lot of people have it on their belts. Now, a lot of black males didn't have it on their belt, but a lot of black males were going to get stopped anyway, buck knife or not. So the knife was just an afterthought. But I would check the local laws and show, because they'll tell you your intent. If you're carrying a weapon for protection or something, on your local laws, and know for sure like that.
All right, Lorenzo, thank you very much on that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This week on BoobTube at 10 o'clock with my co-host Carrie Anthony and Desirable Bottom Desiree, we are going to be talking about what we are watching on streaming services. Primarily Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, but there's a bunch of smaller streaming services or whatever the case is. But yeah, catch us at 10 o'clock on Exotica TV, on YouTube and Periscope, and let us know, what is your current obsession on whatever streaming service has your attention. 10 o'clock, YouTube, Exotica TV, Periscope, Exotica TV. See you at 10.
I got what you need. I got what you want. I got what you need. Tell them giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front. Exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need. I got what you want. I got what you need. Tell them giddy up.
Okay. And I'm back again. Okay, so I just want to say this. I have these things set so that they kind of flow one through the other when I do my little segment breaks. And listen, when you're doing your own show and you have the ability to put applause on, you put applause on. So I'm just saying. Anyway, welcome back to Casey at Night and tonight's episode Q&A with Lorenzo and Casey. And I am here with my very special guest, Lorenzo, answering questions that we get all the time. All the time. All the time. So, here's a question. Where is it at? Okay, we did that. Oh, did I not highlight it? Because I got a whole long list of questions. Okay, looks like I did not highlight it. But, all right, so let's go to a different question since I can't find the question I'm looking for. So here's the question. I love having sex a lot. Does that make me a sex addict? So here's the thing. How do you define a lot? Because for some people, a lot might be you want it every day. For some people, a lot might mean you want it every week. For some people, a lot might mean you want it 3, 4, 5 times a day. So how do you define what is a lot and whether you are a sex addict? So now I did a little research on this. And sex addiction is the active use of a sexual behavior, whether it is masturbation and internet porn addiction, fetish and or behavior with self or others in a compulsive, life-destroying pattern. So in other words, it's to the point where you are like reckless, and not reckless because you're, say, having unprotected sex, but reckless in a sense that you're just out there having sex with everybody. And let's put sex worker to the side, because a sex worker is not necessarily a sex addict, because a sex worker is doing this and getting paid. Could they be a sex addict? Yes. But as a whole, that's going to go to the side. Sex addict is someone who, like, it's compulsive. It's like they have to. They can't stop themselves from doing it. And even though they may have orgasm, they are not necessarily getting gratification out of it. It's this like need. It's this need. It's an itch you have to scratch, and you scratch it and scratch it and scratch it, and it just doesn't go away. So, yeah. So, thank you. I like this comment. Basically, you can't function without having sex first, last, and in between all of that. Yeah, it is mind obsessing. Like it literally takes over your brain and your functionality. Thoughts, Lorenzo? I mean, especially with you being in law enforcement and seeing sex workers, do you in your experience, did you come across sex addicts?
With the sex workers, that was rare to come across a sex, addict. It was a business. A lot of them was a business. Some enjoyed, but I did come across a few that were addicts, and it was like it didn't matter if it was money involved or not. This is just a compulsive nature, and with the addiction, you're willing to sacrifice a lot in life to, just achieve that momentary, pleasure. Because after in a few minutes, it's over with. You're ready for, something else and something else and something else, and little by little, you tear yourself up or you have nothing.
Yeah.
It's like any other addiction. It has to be addressed.
Okay, wait. All right. Here's a question just for you, Lorenzo. Duchess
Oh,
Cashmere wants to know, do you do anything special to care for your voice? Oh, me too. But I'm a focus on Lorenzo,
mhm.
because Lorenzo actually does do a lot of voiceover for me. And if y'all don't know Duchess Cashmere, shame on you. That means you are not watching enough Casey at Night. But Duchess Cashmere is the Dolomite. I'm saying that. She's the Dolomite of King. I don't know, beat his sexy talk. Anyway, I'm sorry. Before I go off on a whole long tangent about Duchess Cashmere, hey girl, mwah, mwah, mwah. Lorenzo, what do you do for your voice?
Luckily, it's lower, so it's not as much strain as, say, a higher voice. But you don't do a lot of excessive screaming, things like that. And just watch your diet.
Mm-hmm.
Try to cover up when it's cold. You don't want the cold getting into it. But sometimes you will strain. I do a lot of reading sometimes, and it might be, hours, and you have to take that break. It's like any other muscle. You have to exercise it and relax, you know.
Yeah. You said a couple of things that I definitely want to co-sign on. One of them is diet. And what folks may want to know, what do you mean diet? What does diet have to do with my voice? Dairy products will leave a mucus on your vocal cords, and you'll have to clear your throat because the mucus will stick to itself, thus making it harder for your vocal cords to do what they do. You don't want anything too acidic, too caustic, because it will then scratch your vocal cords or leave your vocal cords feeling scratchy. Yes, as Duchess says, no milk on recording day. None. That's when you are definitely ingesting water, a lot of water. And let me say this, I think anybody who is in tune with their voice, thank you, right there. Anybody who's in tune with their voice, they have their own special thing. So, for example, if you're drinking water, you want it to be room temperature. You don't want cold water because cold water will constrict your vocal cords. You don't want it too hot because it could also kind of, I don't want to say scorch, but it could have that adverse effect. So even if you're going to drink tea, for example, you don't necessarily have to have it room temperature, but you want it more on the side of lukewarm than hot, because you risk putting too much heat on the vocal cords. So and more than anything, and I'm sure you already know this, Duchess, is sometimes you just can't talk straight up. Diet,
Hmm.
all of that aside, sometimes you have to just straight out not talk. Um,
Yeah,
Black
and
lady.
everyone is different, um, and they have to remember that you're not going to have the same sound. It depends on what you're trying to use your voice for. We've listened to Duchess, and she takes it to another level, of course. So that's different. That's a different type of voice, but not everyone's going to sound the same, no matter what you do.
No,
It's just,
going back to what you said about Duchess and what she does so we give you some that was just some basic, here's what you do to protect your voice. But Duchess does readings, and Duchess will speak nonstop for several minutes at a time. So she definitely has to safeguard her voice so that not only does she have the vocal cord strength, but she's also got to have the wind to do some of what she does. She's got to
yes.
have the abdominal strength, the diaphragm control. It's not easy to do what Duchess does. And I have done readings, excerpts from my stories. When I tell you it requires abdominal strength to do the kind of reading or speaking that Duchess and I do, that is not an exaggeration. That's no bullshit. It is definitely, you've got to sit up in your chair. You've got to allow your diaphragm to expand to its fullest so that you can speak in a fluid manner. So now, while I'm not saying this to Duchess because Duchess knows, what I'm saying is, for those of you who are like, y'all make it seem easy. I mean, anybody can just do what you do. No, no, baby. No, you can't. I
No,
dare
that's
you to
true.
try to
That's
read
true.
for 5 minutes nonstop out loud and not have to stop and catch your breath. It ain't that easy.
Yeah, you got to work out, keep that cardio, keep your lungs clear. And a lot of people don't realize, even with singers, they're breathing while they're singing. You just might not see it,
Right.
but you learned how to control and everything like that. For
Or yeah. And so like Duchess makes this comment, hosting like you do. Right. It's quite
I
as
can work a lot.
I don't talk about that, but if you ever notice, I do sit straight up in my chair so that I can talk to you
Mhm.
without having to look like I took a deep breath. Because often, I mean, let's just be honest. I'm sitting here technically talking to myself, right? Like there's nobody. I mean, tonight I have Lorenzo to talk back to me, but most times I'm talking to myself. It is not easy to sustain this level of energy if you don't know how to protect your vocal cords and if you don't know how to breathe from your diaphragm. And let me tell you, meditation has been a godsend in even strengthening my ability to work my diaphragm. So I thank you, Duchess. Oh, thank you, Duchess. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you. I kid you not. And I'm gonna tell you this: I selfishly give advice, tips, tricks to you because I enjoy working with you so much. And anything I can do to help enhance what you do, so that when we do it together, is magic, girl. Every day, all day, every day, all day, girl, every day, all day. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. So, question. Whew. Okay, here's one. This is for you. For no, let me not do that. My partner and I only have sex a couple times a month. Is that normal? What are your thoughts, Lorenzo?
Well, there's really nothing normal at all. So depends on your situation. If your situation just calls for that, that's fine. It's between the two of you. Is that sustainable? I say between the two of you. You've had communications. Is there a problem on one side or not? That's just something that's between the two of you, because there is no normal. Some might have once a month. Some might be 60 times a month. But it's different for everybody. It's all in the communication and how you work with your partner on that.
Definitely, definitely co-signing that. Like co-signing on that. And the reason why I think it's important to say, do not get caught up in what's normal, is because your experience is about the quality, not the quantity. You can have sex every single day of the month, but if it feels like you just, clocked in to work and that was the first thing on your list of things to do, you know, then you might as well had not wasted the time. The quality of the experience will dictate whether or not you have more of it, that's good enough, or you have less. And, I encourage folks to look at the quality. If afterwards you feel like you and your partner have reconnected or deepened your connection, and you feel ever the more close to them, or whatever stress you were feeling has now been alleviated by that experience, then That's exactly how much you need. Can you ask for more? Please, if that's what you need. If you need more, please ask for more. There's nothing wrong with that. But if what you're getting is good, quality experience, do not judge based on how many times you get that good quality experience. Because I did look for the statistics on how many times is the average couple having sex. And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to tell you what it says because I don't want you judging yourself based on a statistic. It's the thing that will actually mess up whatever it is you're doing. So, again, if it's good, if the quality of it is good, then go with that. If the quality isn't that good, then y'all need to have conversation and talk about it. But definitely don't judge yourself against others. My friend Black Lance here, somebody posted a meme the other day saying you should have a relationship with someone that has the same sex drive as you. What's your opinion on that? That is an ideal. I'm not going to say that it's wrong, but what I will say is I've been in a relationship with someone who wasn't where I was at, and I tried to talk through it, and it got me nowhere, right? So, you know, it requires you to be able to talk to your partner. Your partner has to be comfortable telling you where they're at, and you have to be comfortable telling them where you're at. And then the two of you do what you can to, again, create a quality experience. You must have quality, not quantity. And I think finding someone who matches it is strictly an ideal. Because I'm gonna tell you what, you can get somebody on a dating website who's like, yeah, 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 I don't do it all the time. Yeah, I love it. And then you find out they don't quite love what you love. Yeah, they're probably willing to just, hit it and quit it and call it a day. But maybe you're into the more kinky bondage BDSM stuff and they're not. So now all of a sudden they don't want it as much as you want it because you want the kinky shit and they just want to hit it and quit it. And move on. I mean, what are your thoughts, Lorenzo?
It's the same thing, like he said. It's rare anyway to find someone exactly like you are, and a lot of it has been dictated by society. They've dictated what is a lot, what is this, what is that, and that's not the case at all. And it's all the quality of what you do and broaden your horizon on the sex.
Yeah.
There's so much more that is done or can be done other than insertion. That's so low on the totem pole of things that can be done.
It's
And
basic.
once you communicate and find out about that, you don't even know what your level is or what you like until you broaden your horizon. That's what both partners need to do and
Yeah.
communicate.
Yeah. Well, Black Lance, thank you for bringing that out because I think it's important that we, have this understanding of that's an ideal. Having someone match your sex drive is an ideal because let's be honest, today I can match your sex drive, but if we're together 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, our sex drives might not be lining up because, as we all know, men in their start up here, women are about here. As we age, that level starts to shift. And as women get to that 40, 50 range, their sex drive actually is at a higher level. And so you may find that their partner may not be where they're at that time. So you got to find a way to bring that level, you know, and understand this right here, what I'm doing, that is not abnormal. That's normal. Today you up here and I'm down here. Tomorrow I'm up here and you're down here. I'd rather see it like this than to see you like this all the time. So, let's just be patient with each other. Let's communicate. Because like Lorenzo said, it's not always about the insertion. Yeah, everybody, each side likes the insertion, but sometimes I'm just not in the mood today, just can't get it to that place to feel whatever. And so we compromise and we figure out another way for us to get the pleasure we're looking for. Chain free media in the house. Hey there, fam. Yeah, don't be afraid to talk about it. You will most definitely be surprised by what you may hear from your partner or what your partner is willing to do just in an effort to be connected. Because sometimes all we really want is that connection. Sometimes I just want you to touch me, hold me, put your hand on my boobs, pinch it a little bit. I mean, shoot, that might be enough right there. I'm just saying. But because we put so much emphasis on other stuff, we can put too much pressure on each other. So, with that said, we're going to have to do another episode of Q&A with Lorenzo.
That's right.
Because we have come to the end of the road. I want to, again, remind y'all, next week is my birthday. I'm going to be 52. So, wait, hold on. Right there, 50 Shades of Casey. That's from my 50th birthday party a couple years ago. We are now up to 52, bitches. This is what 52 can look like right here. I'm not even going to tell you how old Lorenzo is, but let me just say he older than me.
We're not going to get into that.
He older than me. Okay? He older than me. So if you're sitting there looking at me going, ooh, Casey, you look 30-something. Black dope crack. Holla. And you should see my fam from Chain Free Media. He older than me too. But you'd never know. Anyway, I will be tweeting where you can go to find your gift for Casey for her 52nd birthday. All month long, I will be celebrating my birthday. It is never too late to send a gift, nor wish me happy birthday. Preferably never too late to send a gift. All good children send gifts. Tribute, whatever it is. It's never too small and never too big. So, with that being said, thank you for joining Lorenzo and I here tonight. Thank you for coming with your questions, your comments. As always, I appreciate having you. I will see you at 10 o'clock tonight on BooTube Exotica TV. If not, I will see you next week at 8 o'clock to celebrate my birthday. And if you live in the Chicago area, I expect to see you at Exotica in Chicago. All right, y'all. Good night.
Alrighty.